What's going on, guys? So, we're going to let a few people get in here before we get started. But I'm sure a lot of y'all already read the title and know the news that I'm about to give about this. It's heartbreaking, honestly. Make sure we got our volume turned down on this. Alright. Are we clear now? Let me see. Quality 240. No, not. We want our higher picture quality. Oh, goodness. It doesn't want to give me very much on my iPad, but it'll be okay. What are you guys doing? Y'all having a good night? Just read this article. It says Chatham County Police have issued the following statement. We are saddened to report that the CCPD and the FBI have notified Quentin Simon's family that we believe he is deceased. We have named his mother, Leilani Simon, as the prime suspect in his disappearance and death. No arrests have been made and no charges have been filed. Chief Hatley will hold a media briefing tomorrow to give more details and answer questions. We will not be making any further statements or answering any questions until that time. We know that thousands of people around the world will be heartbroken by this news, and we share your sorrow. Now, if you didn't know, earlier today at 10:24 a.m., Chatham County Police had issued the following statement. Today marks 1 week since Quentin Simon was reported missing. We will be at his home where he was last seen with a team of search dogs and investigators. We will spend today gathering and analyzing evidence. We should schedule a media briefing tomorrow. Alright, guys, so what that says is they searched the house. They had dogs. They were doing all their little thing for the last couple days, right? They've been searching and going through, black lighting, draining the pool, and apparently they found evidence that leads them to believe that he's no longer with us. I don't want to just say, that dead. I don't want to say that. So, he's no longer with us. He's deceased. That's what the police believe. They don't know that to be fact, but they found evidence leading to that conclusion today. And apparently that evidence points the finger right at the mother. Now, obviously, this is what most of us thought it was going to be, right? We thought it was going to be the mother. We thought it was going to be that she did something and tried to cover it up. It's terrible. I can't stand it. But now that I'm thinking about it and I'm looking back on it after they said this, and apparently they don't have any suspicion of the boyfriend. The boyfriend left and went to Atlanta. Maybe we're all reading that wrong. I know a lot of people were saying, like, okay, so the boyfriend skipped town. He's obviously guilty. Maybe he had a feeling. Maybe he felt like she had done something and was lying to him about it. Maybe that's why he was in such a bad mood when the babysitter wanted to search. Maybe he could tell by the way that the mother was acting that something was up. And then once he figured out and they figured out that he didn't have anything to do with it, then he was like, I want to get as far away from this woman as possible. Sorry, excuse for a woman, but a woman, I guess, I have no idea what they would have found, though. I'm assuming they probably found some type of bodily fluids or some type of residue on a pillow or something. If she, what do you guys think? Do you think that she actually done something to him, like physically hurt him and ended his life, or do you think that she was being neglectful and he probably ended his life. I don't know where I stand with that. Like I would I mean, if she's just that out of her gore and that much of a piece of crap that she physically hurt him, which I know the bruises and stuff has been on him. She probably went too far with something like that. Poor baby probably wanted to get up at 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning like a normal person. And she wanted to lay up in the bed, not get up. So she got violent with him or something, probably. I mean, that's what I would believe if I were just making stuff up. But I can't wait to hear what the police say tomorrow to see which direction it went. Because I would hope that it would be, I don't know, like that's a hard thing to imagine, you know? It's very hard to imagine that somebody would do that to their child on. Yeah, she probably was messed up on drugs. I mean, I feel like that one is probably, I don't want to say obvious because, but if she's like just hanging out smoking a cigarette in the yard while the babysitter's over there, she ain't even called the cops. She's trying to let the garbage man leave, probably. That's a terrible thing. I can't believe that they haven't arrested her. How do they name her the prime suspect, but they don't come out and arrest her? What's going to stop her from running off? I was watching Dolly's stream earlier, and he's in town. He's at the location, and he was outside the house, and he was saying that he thinks that the rumor that they found the baby or that they know that she killed the baby was a rumor because nothing was going on at the house and people were inside the house turning off and on the lights and they had shut the gate. But that news article came out less than an hour ago, so that was more than an hour ago that he was at the house. So I'm guessing maybe he got there before that news report come out, and since the police haven't made any arrests yet, the family didn't know yet, but now they probably know that that the mother's the prime suspect. Yeah, she's been there. I mean, she's been around. She's been at the house. She hasn't been in jail whatsoever. She's there. The boyfriend ran off to Atlanta. But now I'm starting to think that since he's been cleared, that maybe he just was disgusted with her and wanted to get away. I mean, we made an assumption. I made assumptions. I'm not going to lie. When I looked at the guy, and I know, oh, he wants to be a rapper, and I heard him. He's not going to be a rapper. So I just made the assumption that maybe he's just a loser. But he did have friends come out and say that he would never do anything like that. Apparently, the police had his phone. They cleared him. They didn't clear the mother. The mother's the suspect. He's not. There has to be a good reason for that. Like, they can't just be going off of the feels when it comes to naming a mother as a suspect in her own child's disappearance or murder, but clearing the boyfriend. There has to be a reason, right? So I feel like maybe he knows enough. Maybe he knows that she was doing some shit like that, but didn't trust her, had a bad feeling about her, whatever, and he dipped. He was like, I don't even want to be around this. I don't want to be attached to this woman no more. I don't want to be any party to going down with her when she goes down for this because I am not into this. But doesn't he have a kid with her? Is the 4-month-old the boyfriend's or somebody else's? Because from what I understand, they've been together almost a year and a half, right? And so if she's got a 4-month-old, unless you know, unless she was out earning some drugs, then seems like it would be his. What do you guys think? Anybody? Who's all in here? What's up, Phil Farmentino? I appreciate that, bro. I appreciate it. Farmentino. I'm country. I'm country, bro. If it's not Formentino, I'm sorry. Sunny or Summy Turbo? Yeah, that's rough, huh? Yeah, somebody threw him away like a piece of trash. That's devastating. Cause here's a little dox on myself. When I first graduated high school, I went to work for the county, and I was a trash collector. I was on the old school way though. I'm 35, so when I first graduated, it was still on the back of the truck, picking up the cans, dumping them in, running down the road beside the truck, grabbing the next cans and dumping them in. It was work. It was the worst job I've ever had, 100%. And it didn't pay enough for it either. It was terrible. It was obsessed. But knowing how those trash trucks work, you're not just filling up that truck. As you fill that truck up, you have a blade inside that, not a blade like a cutting blade, but a blade that slides back and packs and compresses. So if she did throw that baby away, then he would be not whole anymore. If that comes across. Yeah, that's a terrible thing to think about. But imagine the type of mother that woman is. Thank God for my mother. Thank God for my baby mama. Thank God for my fiance. Thank God that they're not evil. That's evil. I mean, what kind of person can do that to their own kid? Not only neglect them, not only beat them, but most likely murder or sell or whatever they believe she did to them. And if it was murder, not only even murder, but then dispose of them like a piece of trash. Put them in the garbage can. Don't even give them a dignant way to go and be in peace. I'm trying to control myself. The last time I got on live talking about this case, I got overwhelmed, and I watched it back the next day, and I was thinking, I mean everything that I'm saying there, but YouTube YouTube is not gonna like that at all because I said some pretty harsh things, and I mean it feels awkward, but at least it's justified, you know. At least she is a trash, just the biggest piece of trash you've ever fucking heard of. I'm sorry, but she is trash. That's for sure. Regardless of whether or not they can prove that she did anything. Do they have the death penalty in Georgia? I don't think so. They might. I don't believe though. I don't know. And if they do give her the death penalty, she'll sit in prison for 50 years before they do it. I just hope that the women in prison give her a warm welcome, you know? A real warm welcome. I hope they make her the guest of honor for her entire stay until she has to pack it up and go to solitary confinement for the rest of her life, sitting in a room by herself, wishing, wishing she hadn't done what she did. Haunting Haley. I really hate to say this, but I'm not surprised. This gave me the Casey Anthony vibes from the first coverage I saw on it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was the feeling I got at first, too. It definitely was. Like, I knew it was her. I was thinking it was either her or the boyfriend. And I was kind of rough on the babysitter the other night too, and she had a second Facebook Live that come out that says basically she says she did call DFAX, but DFAX didn't do anything. CPS, whatever you'd like to call them, and I don't believe her about that because when she did her first live, she said, well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but since Billie Joe wants to bust in the house and do all this and do all that, now I'm gonna say it. So I doubt if she was gonna say anything there, and she was texting the grandmother about the bruises and stuff, then she probably didn't really call CPS. She just saw all the comments on her Facebook of, if you saw all this on this child, why didn't you? So then she's just gonna easily say, oh, I did, but they didn't do anything. The reason I say that, I understand CPS can be a drag and drop the ball a lot, but you got to remember that this little boy is already in their system. He was taken from his mother by them and given to the grandmother. So then if they get calls in, especially like the babysitter said, from multiple people on the street, including herself, if they getting calls about this child being neglected and not watched and bruises on him, they're going to follow up because they're responsible for that child at that point, because they've already removed him from one home. They should have been coming out inspecting the grandmother's home to make sure that the mother wasn't there taking care of them, especially with the grandmother out of town and the mother keeping them like, oh, it's just fine. CPS didn't take my kids. They gave her to my mom and I got them right back. Like, what? That's not how that works. But I hope everybody who deserves punishment in this case gets punishment in this case to a certain extent. The babysitter, if she did call CPS and she did call DFACS, then good. Then I take back anything bad that I said about her. Even though I think that at that point, if you're calling and nobody's doing anything, and then you see belt bruises on a 20-month-old baby's neck, you don't call CPS that time. You turn around and you call the cops. You file a report. You have the cops come out there and take possession of the child if you need to. But whatever you have to do not to send that baby back to that house. But I got little boys. So when I think about it, I get like super frustrated. Like, it's hard to explain. I posted that video today of my little boys and just like a cut together of them as they've been growing up, and watching that, putting that together just so I could, just really, because in the last video, I was talking about how she said that 20-month-old couldn't open a door, and I was like, well, my baby was 17, 18 months. He was able to pop the door with a credit card if it was locked. So like, it don't make sense to me that a 20-month-old couldn't open the door unless, the fact that they neglected that baby. They didn't spend time with the baby. They didn't talk to the baby. They didn't do things with the baby. So the baby didn't get to see their actions and mimic their actions and tune his fine motor skills in good enough to grip a doorknob and turn it at the same time. But definitely, my little boy was 17, 18 months popping the door with a credit card. And I know when I say that to people think I'm lying or something. So I just decided that I would go ahead and throw a little compilation video of, my two favorite people. My three favorite people, actually. My stepson from my previous marriage is in there too. He's the one antagonizing my little boy when he's saying, it's my daddy, my daddy. But, oh, not much, because I was just throwing the video together of my baby boys. I was about to go to bed and I read that and I thought, I can't go to bed. I just can't. As a former foster parent, I once had to report another foster home. CPS did nothing and I had to reach out to an outside agency. So it's possible, but Grandma and CPS both also have some fault in this. Definitely. I mean, even if the babysitter didn't reach out to CPS, why are there not checks going on in the home that you placed the child in? Just because it's the grandmother doesn't mean that everything's all hunky-dory. If you know the grandmother's passed, if you know that the grandmother that you just gave these babies to got her own kids taken from her when they were little, then what makes you trust the grandma so much that you give the kids to the grandma and then never even go check up and make sure that the mother isn't laid up in the bed right beside them and babysitting them when the grandma's gone to work? Like, come on, CPS. Are you slacking? This is why that's crazy to me, because here in Alabama, my aunt was a piece of crap. My mom's sister, she was a piece of crap. She was married to another piece of crap who never worked. They never had nothing but social security checks or whatever, which was like I don't know, a couple $100 a month each, and they lived on welfare and the welfare housing. And hey, I'm not against welfare when people need welfare. Like if you're using welfare to get yourself situated, to get on your feet, to build a better life. I'm only against welfare when you're using it like, hey, this is my lifestyle and this is how it's going to stay. I'm not trying to do any better. I'm going to take advantage of this and live off of this, and I'm not going to make as much money as I could make because then I'll start losing benefit. That's when I have a problem with welfare. When welfare is just whatever about. But they were taking advantage of welfare, and then they weren't taking care of their kids. Because, I mean, obviously, how are you taking care of kids on a couple $100 a month outside of the food stamps in the apartment? And she was a little nutty. So my mom didn't want the kids to go into the welfare system and the foster system. So my mom stepped up and was like, hey, they can live with us. Now, I was a little boy at the time. I was like 8, 9 years old when this first started. And we ended up having all three of my aunt's kids at different times. And during those different times, that my mom's sister, had in her mind that if she could get us in trouble somehow with CPS, that they would take the kids out of our house and just give them back to her, even though she hadn't done anything that she was supposed to do to get her kids back. So she would call and she would make up lies saying that the kids told her they weren't eating good, or the kids told her that we didn't have any food in the house, or the kids had bruises on them. And every time she would call them, about once or twice a week, they would send people out there to look through our cabinets, look through our fridge, look through the clothes, check the schoolwork, look over the bodies, question the kids, and it just made it insane. So back then, at least in that case, CPS was doing their job. Now, luckily, my parents are as square as you get, and they would have never done anything to hurt any kids, but they would never do anything that would even put them at risk for cops coming to their house once or twice a week and searching the house. Luckily, and I mean, hopefully that's the case with most people, but any little thing could get you in trouble when it comes to that. So the fact that they send them out once or twice a week to inspect, you got to be real crystal clean not to ever have any issues. But even though they knew she called like that constantly, they still came. So that's why it makes it hard for me to believe that in this situation where they're responsible for the child already, that they would just let the kid be there and never go check up, never respond to extra calls about the same kid that's already in the system and already with a different parent, but supposedly back to the main parent who's hitting them again. Come on. Why would they be that way? Why would they let that happen? I really hope that somehow they found evidence on the phones or something that says that she sold him or traded him off. I hate to imagine. That little boy's face is just so sweet and innocent. Especially with his hair all messed up in the picture with the red shirt. That's depressing, you know? I hope he didn't suffer. But it was obvious that he didn't get up in between 6 and 7:30. Really would have had to been the time, because the babysitter said she was outside between 7:30 and 8:30 and didn't see anything. So whatever the mom did do would have had to happen, since the boyfriend's not involved. Whatever did happen would have had to happen between 6 o'clock and 7:30. So, like, how does that's not even much of a timeline. Fueled by coffee and true crime. Yeah, it is sad. It's definitely sad. Holt and Haley, they want to hide the truth, and if a family member has them, then inside people know they aren't doing their case plan. The moving is traumatic. The false calls are so selfish. Yeah. Yeah. And another foster horror story was an ex-girlfriend I had. Her parents were foster parents, and they had a little boy named Jacob. They had him from the time he was a baby. They picked him up at the hospital, and they had him until he was like 8 years old. And at 8 years old, fosters the whole time, they come back and pulled that baby to try to give his mother another chance with him. And just took him away from his whole family that he'd ever known and gave him back to the mother. And the mother messed up again within 6 months. And they ended up getting to adopt him, and it was a good story. But then another time, they were fostering another baby that was born addicted to cocaine. And this was the scariest time of my life, honestly, because I was in my early 20s dating their daughter. And their daughter we lived together. It was that, I was in my early 20s. So we had lived together. We just weren't married or anything like that. And the mother was at the beach. My girlfriend's mother was at the beach, and the hospital called and needed them to come get a baby that was addicted to cocaine and was just getting out of the NICU and needed to be picked up to take home. And they were wanting a newborn baby to foster and take care of. But the girlfriend's dad, he was a county cop, and he had to work night shifts, so he couldn't get the baby and keep the baby overnight. So he went and picked the baby up, and he brought him to my house for me and my girlfriend to watch throughout the night. And I didn't sleep at night during that time. I laid there and watched that baby because I was so terrified. He had respiratory problems where he couldn't breathe, so he had to lay in the wedge constantly so he wouldn't roll over, because if he rolled over, he would suffocate. I'm sorry. And it was traumatizing, really. He ended up being okay, and they ended up getting to adopt him too, but just thinking about that now, I haven't thought about that in a while. His name was Tyler. Little Tyler. But they adopted him too. Oh wow. He's probably 10 years old now, 11 years old. And he got a good life. Fueled by coffee and true crime. I heard on No Thanks that the door alarm showed some door was open 2 to 5 a.m. Yeah, but the door alarm opening from 2 to 5 a.m. wouldn't really prove anything if the boyfriend was cleared, right? Because he was there till 6 a.m. Maybe he was asleep. That's why she was waiting to call the police, waiting for the garbage to be picked up. Yeah, most likely. I mean, I believe that's the case. I don't know if the baby was in the garbage can necessarily, or if it was just evidence that of the stuff, whatever her cleanup needed to be thrown in the garbage can, and the baby was somewhere else. She did something else with the baby. But I bet you, if that's the case and she didn't throw the baby away, she got rid of the paraphernalia, I guess. I don't know what you would call it, the evidence in the garbage can, and was waiting for them to run before she called the cops. I bet that baby's in those woods behind their house that I saw on Dolly's stream. Because Dolly was talking about that earlier today on a live stream he was doing. He was talking about wanting to go to those woods behind the house and check. Because, I mean, they all check. But when you're walking around, when you got people out there, and the way he described it and was showing, there's not even people out looking for the baby at this point. So there's not people out walking those woods and checking every square inch of it for dirt that's been dug up and reburied or covered up, or a hole that's blocked up with a rock or something. Like, if you think about it, when you go out in the woods, I deer hunt, right? So if I go out into the woods and I never been in those woods before, and I placed my tree stand on a tree, and then I walked back out without really paying attention to where I was. I come back in like I'm gonna have a little bit of a time finding where I put that tree stand unless I just remember my exact steps. If I let you go hide a tree stand in the woods and I went to go try to find it, it would take me some time for sure. And if I would have to at least know the general area. We don't know any general area whatsoever for where he might be. So it's not difficult to believe that she's got him in a shallow grave buried somewhere or underwater somewhere. And it's rough to think about. It really is. Does anybody want to come up on the panel? Let me share a link in the chat. Well, if I can. There we go. Let's go. Oh, now let's post that. If anybody wants to come up and talk about it, we can talk about it. There's the link right there. I guess I need to keep that open so I can see if anybody takes it, but oh. Let's read some of these comments. Scroll back up a little bit. Or I missed. Rebecca Macklin. Just so very sad. He is just the cutest thing. It takes someone pure evil to do this. I don't think it will take long for the biological mom to be arrested. I don't think so either. With the police like coming out and just saying, "Hey, this is what we believe happened. She's our prime suspect. We believe he's deceased." They have a reason for that. I can't. It's hard for me to even imagine that they would say that without making the arrest on her. But I guess maybe that's where they're leaning to, and they just don't have enough evidence to pin her down yet. They want to get in her head maybe and, get her to tell on herself, interrogate her, have her end up telling on herself, or somebody to, grandma or the boyfriend or somebody to turn against her. I don't know, but it seems strange that they would say that but not arrest her. Is she at the house? Does anybody know that, or did she ever come back earlier when she left today? Because I saw where she left the house at one point today, but I never paid attention to see if she went back. Fueled by coffee and true crime. I'd have to go and look again. I was trying to do laundry and stuff. There you go. Howdy.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Huh, that's weird. I cannot hear you with my YouTube muted. That's not normal.
Yeah,
Hang on. Okay, try again.
can you hear me now?
That's weird. I've never had this problem. Hold on. I'm so sorry. Audio. I went on a different platform earlier. It wasn't StreamYard, it was one on OBS.
Yeah.
And it changed my settings, and now I think I've messed it all up. Hold on just a second. I'm going to drop back out.
All right. Oh, I think it was me. I think I had my mic muted the whole time. Just come on back in. Don't change anything and see because I believe it was me. So, Haunting Haley. I know several foster parents who have quit because of the same stuff. My sister is an adoption and she had to go through cocaine and methadone withdrawal. It's awful to watch. God bless you. Oh yeah, it is. It's terrible. And drug babies, yeah, they suffer terribly. Terribly. Like I it's hard to even
All
explain.
right. Hello.
Hey, is that better?
Yeah.
Good deal. I had my mic muted. I forgot to unmute it when
Oh, it
I
was no, it
came
was
through.
okay. All right.
Ooh.
So I was on the phone with somebody when they were outside Quentin's home this evening, and it was really weird because um, the house was totally quiet. The lights were on. The garage door was open. People were home. There was normal movement. Didn't appear to be anything weird going on, right? Even the garage door was open. There were vehicles there, people moving around. There were other people there kind of, like watching the home, but from a distance,
Yeah. Dolly
just to
Vision.
see if anything was going to happen, right?
Yeah, he was there
And
videoing it or live streaming it earlier.
yeah, right. And did I say who I was talking to?
No, you didn't.
Okay, I didn't know if you wanted me to or not. I
Oh, you're
tried to not
fine.
mention channels unless I'm.
I don't do that. I mean, as long as
Do
you're
you want me
not
to
bad
or not?
mouthing a channel, then I don't mind. I'm not,
Right, right,
you
right.
know,
I
like,
try not to unless I'm told to. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because you know how it is. If you go and mention a channel, then you get in trouble. So
Yeah, I always hate that though. Like, I understand if they don't want you to, like, say something bad about a channel, but I feel like it's kind of like, I don't know. It's YouTube, you know? I don't feel like it's that competitive. I feel like if somebody's watching something, they're interested in something, they'll watch kind of a little bit of everybody rather than just, oh, I'm mad because if I say this person's name, they're going to leave my stream and go somewhere else. But I understand the drama part of it too. People take things the wrong way. As long
yeah,
as
I
we're
just think
not like beefing.
it's just so middle school. It's like really people, but yeah.
Yeah. But
Anyway,
yeah,
so
feel
I
free.
was on the phone and I was just on the phone and hanging out and just hearing, and it was just quiet and chill, and there was no indication whatsoever there was anything going on. And but the grandmother had left a few hours earlier, and that was it. And then all of a sudden, there's this news that the grandmother had indeed, given them the information that the daughter had confessed to her.
Oh, really?
And it was then, yeah. And then the Chatham County Police Department put up that notice right about that exact same time.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was just like, whoa. So then people kind of, sadly walked away. It was pretty sad.
Yeah.
There was nothing else you could do.
So the mother confessed to the grandmother, and then the grandmother went and turned her in, but they didn't arrest the mother.
Apparently, they haven't found him as of, I think that was, let me see what time that was. That was, let me refresh the Twitter page so I can see how long ago that was. It was about an hour ago.
Wow. And the daughter wasn't at home when the grandmother left and went and told them that she
Right.
had
The
confessed.
daughter wasn't there. She was like probably holed up somewhere.
Yeah, she's probably gonna be on the run then, since they've named her. They they probably already knew she was gonna be on the run and wanted to name her that way nobody would hide her. Hmm. That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. But I mean, the grandmother, though, even though she's coming and telling that the daughter confessed, thank God she would do that and not try to cover it up. But is she not going to be held to some? I mean, she had custody of the children and left them back with the person that had took them. So they'll probably
Yeah, I
do
know.
something to her, too.
Man,
Yeah. I mean, deservingly so. That's ridiculous. Not, like, good Lord.
I
It,
know it's that, and that is exactly why. I mean, I can speak to that because I this is exactly why I had to ban some people from my grandchildren's lives. I literally was in the same boat, but I took the responsibility completely seriously. And um, those people are no longer in these children's lives, period. I don't care how blood related you are. If you are going to produce child after child after
hold on one
child,
second. Penny Lane
yeah,
says a Facebook post from the grandma says he was found in the landfill. Is that right? And her daughter did it but didn't remember doing it?
I've seen screenshots. I can't personally verify anything like that. I don't know. I've only told you what I know personally. I can't verify anything else. You know,
Yeah. Yeah. Let me look through that real quick.
I've heard of those things, but I can't verify them. But so what happened with me was my oldest had some problems and he got clean, but his girlfriend did not. And she kept having child after child, and pretty soon CPS got involved and they were going to take our grandchildren. We stepped in and took them. And in our case, the bio children, our bio children, which is my son and the girlfriend, they're not allowed around. Haven't been in, see how old she is, 7 years now. Period. End of story. End of sentence. That sentence is complete and it's over. Like done. You had your chances. We went through safety meetings. They went through programs. Just that's it. You had your chance. That's it. We've gone through the adoption process now with them. We're done. These babies are ours. You had your shot.
Yeah.
And they're done. They're not. You just don't do that with children. You do not do that. So
Right.
we're having to do the mom and dad thing all over again at our age, which is hard, but you do what you got to do. They're now I've got my baby all over again. She's 11 now, but
Well,
it's
l-
crazy.
lucky they have you.
I
At
couldn't
least.
imagine. I could not imagine handing a child back over to somebody like that. I
I
wouldn't do it in a million years. So yeah, I do believe
no
that the
chance.
grandmother, if she did that, she should be held liable because I couldn't imagine doing it.
Right. Well, I've got a post from Annie Elise, the Tend to Life girl, woman,
Oh,
whichever.
I love her. Yeah.
And she's posted allegedly Quentin Simon is in a landfill. This according to his grandma on Facebook.
Yes,
She
that
says
that
he was
is.
found in a
Yeah.
landfall, that
Yeah.
Leilani killed him and has no memory of it. This has not been confirmed by law enforcement yet, but it appears this is verified
Right.
to be her real Facebook profile. Please say a prayer. And it's got the screenshot, Billie Joe Howe. Quentin has passed. He's in a landfill and my daughter done it. She has no memory of it. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry from whoever she was talking to, or whoever that was that they were talking to. So
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't see that part. I'm just now finding. I saw the article from the police department that said that, but I didn't even see that comment, which I guess has been posted since I've been live. I guess because 23 minutes from then is when
I
she
know
posted it.
it's kind of a lot of information is coming in, and it's so I try to stay away from the rumor mill, because a lot of stuff just comes out later to be kind of fall away as rumors. Um, it's just really weird because I saw the Facebook profile and it just appeared so blank that I didn't trust it.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really sure. I wasn't going to pass it along as, information.
Oh yeah, I understand. I mean, apparently
So if it,
it's supposed to be her real profile, and I was reading that off the
right,
babysitter's Facebook in the comment section of the babysitter's
yeah,
last post
that
with a screenshot
that
of the
really
picture
sucks
of
that the
Annalise.
grandma. Sorry, didn't
Go
mean to
ahead.
talk over you. I'm in the living room again with my laptop.
Oh, you're fine. Go ahead.
Remember what happened the other night?
Oh, you're fine. No problem here.
Don't kick me out.
No. You don't have to worry about that.
I have to laugh.
That
You
was
don't know how
different.
many messages I got after that. Oh boy. It's all good. But yeah. I only have 40 subscribers to go and I will get a community page.
Oh, good
Yay!
deal. See, I got
I don't
lucky.
know how many you have, but
I don't know right at the moment, but I think 26
look
something.
at
But
you.
mine just I
I
went
saw
from
I only I
80
only saw
to
you had a really good. See, I'm doing it again. Hang on just a second. Let me close some windows because that's what's causing it.
oh, you're fine. I went from like 88 one day to like 135 subs, and then it just I had a short that went viral to me, at least viral to me, with like 1.1 million views, and I gained like
Wow.
800 subs from it, and then the couple Kylie Rodney videos got like 20 and 30,000 views, and the subs went up, and it just happened really quick for it to be. But I was trying that. I not just that. Like I make videos on all kind whatever I'm thinking about at the moment. I make videos on. So lately I've been into
Yeah, I do that
this.
too.
But yeah, if I make random UFC videos too. If I'm whatever's on my mind, if I'm excited about it, then I'll sit down and record it. And if it turns out good, or I think good, or a point I just want to put out, even if the video is bad, I'll still put it because it's my
Yeah.
channel. Why not?
It's been fun to kind of organically grow and learn, because I mean, I know a lot about what I know about, but I don't know nothing about making these videos at all. And it's been kind of fun to learn.
Oh yeah.
And I've got like 2 rows of videos now, which is so neat. 2 whole rows.
Yeah.
I sound so stupid to your audience right now.
No. No. I mean, I'm
It's
sure they
neat
know what
though,
it
it's
is.
fun to be,
Yeah. I mean,
but yeah, maybe it'll happen.
I went from 1 to 80. It took a long time because I was
Yeah.
doing like knife reviews and stuff because I used to have like a little knife store, and I had so many knives, and I started watching it on YouTube. It was a black hole. That's the whole reason I created the channel in the first place, is I was buying knives and reviewing it, like Benchmades and Spyderco's, not just gas station crazy knives, but quality, you know, hunting knives and
Wow.
pocket jewelry mostly. Ridiculously overpriced knives. Handgun priced knives.
Can I share with you why I created my channel?
Yes.
You guys are going to love this. All right. I'm going to share with everybody why I created my channel. Hold on. I'm going to go get it.
Tammy H says Grandma said Leilani said he was in a landfill, but she doesn't think he's recovered yet. Yeah, I guess not. I guess he's not recovered. And yeah, Penny Lane, I saw 10 to Life screenshot. I guess you might have commented that before I said that though. Melissa W, per the grandmother, the mother has no memory and was found in a landfill. I saw no.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, you know?
That
She
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 has
she
no
did it,
memory,
but
but
she
it was
doesn't
found.
remember it?
Well, I could see that happening if she's spaced out on drugs and blacked out on alcohol and drugs and does it and didn't remember doing the crime but then covered it up. But I doubt that she covered it up good enough to pass a search without knowing what she was doing. If that makes sense. Like the
Yeah, that's
initial
crazy.
searches. Penny Lane said criminality said that specific message was sent to darkness exposed by Billie Joe herself, still not verified by law enforcement, just trying to post the sources.
Well, here we go.
Criminality. Who is that Brittany from Zap Girls channel all the time?
Criminality, I think her name is Teresa.
Teresa? Yes, Teresa. But from Zap Girls channel. She's a mod on Zap Girls channel.
I don't know. I don't go to Zab Coast channel.
I feel like she is. I feel like I was listening to him talk one day. Like back and forth. But I
Yeah,
can't remember if it was her or a
I
different
just don't
person. I
know. I
feel
mean,
like
I like
criminality
criminality.
sticks out to me. I don't think I've ever seen her personal
Right.
channel, but I feel like I've seen her a lot of other places. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. She goes around to panels and stuff too. Yeah. So, I mean, this might not even be like the appropriate time, which is totally fine, but I totally get it. It's just a little comedy video that I had found.
no, go ahead. I mean, I'm
It
not
was
trying to
literally
be.
my earliest childhood memory, and I found it on YouTube. And I was like, I've got to save that. I have to save that because it was literally my earliest childhood memory, right?
Yeah.
And so I made my YouTube so I could save that memory. And it's just a stupid memory. And I put it in the back chat. I didn't know if you wanted me to give it to you to share or just tell. It was just an old Muppet. It's like one of the original Muppet cartoons. And it's so hilarious to me. And it totally explains my sense of humor too. It's really funny. But maybe we could use some sense of humor, some humor, you know? I don't know. But I thought maybe you would want to review it.
You might be able to hear it. I'm not sure. I'm looking at it on the same place I'm broadcasting from. It's storming here, so I know my Wi-Fi is probably crappy right now too. I'll be glad when they get the fiber cables installed. We've got orange cables sticking up out of the front yard, but they've been like that for like 4 months and they haven't connected at
Oh,
all.
yeah. Well, do you want me to do it from my side? Do you want me to present?
Yeah, yeah, just go ahead and do it. I'm
Okay.
sure it's not a problem.
Alrighty. Here we go. Are you sure this is an okay time?
Yeah, it's fine. I mean, I'm just on live to talk about it. I'm not trying to be as sad as the situation is.
All right. So, guys, before the this is like the original Muppets, and it's just a little clip when they went on the Ed Sullivan show, and it's just my earliest childhood memory, and I've looked for it forever and ever and ever. And when I finally found it, I had to save it, and I love it. it just gets funnier and funnier, and I just watch it over and over. Anytime I'm sad, I can watch this stupid clip. I'll turn it on when the song comes on. I hate my voice. I don't want to play my voice. It gets really weird. This is what they used to show children in the early 70s, y'all.
I don't see it anywhere. Did you ever share it?
Oh, you don't see it?
No. No, I don't see it at
Oh,
all.
no. It says I'm sharing. Well, that's
It's
just weird.
yeah, it's not showing up. Let me see.
Okay, present. Yeah, it says I'm. That's just really weird. It says I'm totally sharing the screen, the whole system screen.
Yeah,
Stop
it's
screen.
showing nothing. Are you do you have to have your well, I don't think you would have to have your camera on to share your screen. Um,
Uh-uh.
yeah, no,
No.
all it's showing is the same thing, your picture and your name.
That's really strange. It should have been showing it. Okay, hold on. Try it one more way. Yeah. Now is it?
No, I can get you though.
Huh.
I'll do it this way.
Huh?
I'll do it this way. 1 second. I'll play it.
Don't worry about it. It's not that big a deal. Oops. Almost hit the wrong button. That is strange. Maybe I need to reboot. I have been working with a ton and ton and ton of files today. So it's probably me. It's okay. Not a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, the streaming software gets weird sometimes anyway and just does whatever it feels like doing rather than what it needs to do. Haunting Haley said
Right.
he's also a minor, so even if they found remains, they may keep it close to the vest until the body gets a positive ID. Yeah, I definitely believe that the grandmother went and told them that though, because I thought it would be really strange for the police to not make the arrest but give out the information that they believe she's the prime suspect. But I mean, it would make a lot more sense if they know that the grandmother is telling them that, so they know she knows the grandmother is telling them that anyway, so they might as well make it known to the public so people won't help her without knowing. Does that make sense to you, what I said? Because I think it
Yeah,
did.
it does. I mean, it does, but it just doesn't make sense that they would say that, though.
That they would say what?
You know,
That she
that
was
they
the
would say
prime
anything at
suspect?
this point.
Yeah,
Right.
but if that's what I was saying. If the grandmother hadn't said anything, then it wouldn't make sense for them to say something. But if the grandmother's come out and told them that the mother told her that, then they probably know that the grandmother told her she was telling. That's why she left or whatever. So instead of not saying anything so she wouldn't run, they know she already knows that she's going to be the prime suspect and they know she admitted to it. So they're putting it out so everybody else knows so people don't help her thinking that she's innocent when she's, admitted to it, supposedly.
Okay, I gotcha.
Uh,
Yeah.
allegedly. We got to use allegedly.
Oh, yep, you gotta add that alleged.
Until the police say it.
Oh
Oh,
my
good
word. I
lord.
wonder where she's at.
That's so messed up, though.
I know.
Haunting Haley
That poor
said, for
baby.
sure, I hope no one helps her. They just have to be careful with confirming they are searching landfill because of media and the fact that it could be a diversion. True. Yeah. I mean, the grandma could be in on it. They definitely
Mm,
come across like the way that neighborhood is, that's weird. Dolly Vision was saying that while he was there out in front of the house, that the neighbor was telling him to get off his lawn and throwing French fries at him, wanting him to leave. Called the cops on him, trying to make him leave a public road. Like you don't want
I
him
know, I
there.
know.
That nobody's out there searching for the baby at the time. Nobody like you would think that until he's found or until remains are found, there would be a search party that at least continually searches, bigger or smaller. But he said it looked like no one was out searching for him. You got the grandma posting
Yeah.
about, hey, who can fix my pool or help me fix my pool? Like, what the hell is that? Like, why are you worried about your pool? That's insane to
I
me.
didn't see that. Are you serious?
Yes. Yes, she was looking for help to fix
Mm.
her pool. Or I guess there's people were saying that when they drain the pool, if you don't fill it back up with water, it could cause damage, but I'm assuming her pool was already damaged and that's why it was unkept or whatever. So she figured since they drained it, she would get it fixed. But why are you thinking about that when your grandson is missing? You know? To me, that's just
What?
mind boggling, too. Just like, why would you even care about your pool at the moment? Worry about the
Okay, but
baby.
when
This
did she
was,
drain the pool?
well, the fire department drained the pool yesterday. Or this morning. Yesterday. Last night. Yeah.
Oh, like looking for evidence.
Yes. The fire department pumped it out. They were just spraying the water all through the backyard or whatever. It was. I guess the pool was probably so unkept that the drains it would have took a lot longer. When you fill a pool, you can have the fire department come out and fill it within like a couple hours. So I'm assuming they can probably unfill it within a couple hours. They just throw their sump hose into the pool and spray it out with their fire hose a lot faster than a regular
Ah, and that
drain.
right. I wonder if they had a way to like collect that water, you know?
Yeah, I don't think the water was a big deal for them though. I think it would have been more what was in the filters and stuff. Because if the water's pool water already with some chemical residue left in it, and then algicide and stuff, they might have. They might have. I mean, might have been a way they could test the water for DNA or something to see. But it's a swimming pool, so I don't know what they could get from it that might not randomly normally be in a swimming pool. You know?
I agree with your subscriber Sarah.
Let me read
Says
that.
her little girl could get out the door less than 2. My
Oh
youngest
yeah,
son could too. He could get
definitely.
right out of any door. It was terrifying. I had to add an extra bolt higher that he couldn't get to.
Yeah,
Some of them can, and that was why I brought up the door thing, because there's something about and it was on, No Thanks is where I saw it. There was something about a door that was either unlocked or something from the hours of 2 to 5 a.m., which was unusual. And somebody in the family had noticed it. And I think it was the boyfriend,
Yeah, probably
if I'm not
so. Probably
mistaken.
when he woke up to leave. But yeah, I have ADT, so when I have little sensors over all my doors and stuff that when they open, this is basically Alexa screams it at me that front door open or garage door open, so that I hear it. I had that put in when my little boy was young because, like, I don't know if you saw the video I posted today of my little boys, but the very first clip of that is me proving what I said yesterday. When my son was 17 months old, he could pop a locked door with a credit card. So to say that a 20-month-old little boy can't open a door, it's possible that he couldn't if you neglected him so much that he never got to really tune his motor skills in whatsoever, to where he
Uh-huh.
could grip, twist, and pull at the same time, or grip, twist, and push at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. But yeah, yeah, like it's should be capable at 20 months old. It feels like, as long as there's no like deficiencies anywhere or anything, or not neglected to the point to where you don't do anything with them and they don't see you to mimic you. Oh, Haunting Haley says she has her set up to scream at her. Yeah, and mine definitely screams at me. Like, she's so loud. And God forbid the alarm go off. It's terrible. It'll cause you to run all over yourself rather than just no. It's so loud.
Well,
It's
we got
piercing.
Ring doorbells all over the place and motion sensors and cameras all over our place. So we're getting notifications all the time.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Not just from people, but from the kids coming and going, and dogs and squirrels and birds. It's a little annoying, to tell you the truth.
I imagine we had to turn the motion sensor off on ours because we had a sheepom, a Shih Tzu Pomeranian mix. They call it a sheepom. Little bitty tiny dog, and about the size of a Yorkie.
Mm,
And she would trip it because she would like run across and jump on the couch and then jump over to the love seat or the recliner, and it would somehow, her doing that would set it off. That's how I know how loud the alarm can be because of her.
wow.
But
Hey,
yeah, we disabled
hey,
that.
DB. I
Grandma
don't know how to
fights
say
for
her name.
custody because mom is unfit, then leaves mom in charge of these poor children. Goodness, what dysfunction. And she has her fault in this along with CPS. Definitely, yeah. I believe that
Hmm. Yeah.
there's she should be charged with something because you don't, when she signed for the custody of those children after they removed them from the mother, she had to agree not to give them back to the mother. Like, she had to say,
Yes.
I'm not going
Yes.
to do that. It's not just like, cool. Oh, well, yeah, it's convenient for you. Yeah, let the person who we said was unfit have them back. And when you get
That's
complaints that they have bruises and stuff, just, you know, give her another chance because you can support her no matter what. That's what the babysitter said. The grandma told her that she's young and she makes mistakes, like beating her child, but she was gonna
man.
support her
That's actually
regardless.
part that's actually part of the whole process. You have to go through a lot of paperwork, a lot of background checks. You got to go through the home visits and all that stuff in order for them to place them in your home. And then you have to go through, um, they, they have this plan, this parental plan that they put the parents on. As even when they have, the custody plan, they do give the parents an opportunity to earn their kids back, so to speak.
Yeah.
but they have to complete that plan. And then they have the visitation, and they have the child support lined out, and all that stuff, the things that the parents have to do. And as long as they comply, if they have drug court or parenting classes and anger management, whatever they have to do, and as long as the parents are complying and they're doing well, then they can see the kids, right? Under certain circumstances. And then there's certain rules in place and blah, blah, blah. And you have to follow the rules as set forth in writing by the court. And everybody has to sign it. It has to be notarized. And everybody has to stick to that agreement. If you don't stick to that agreement, not only do you lose the kids, but you can get put in jail.
Here's the craziest part, though,
So
right? Like, the
what was
grandma
she thinking?
lost her kids. So then I guess maybe she earned her kids back at some point, but how does Child Protective Services say, okay, this woman lost her kids when she was younger. Now her daughter's showing the same behavior. So let's give their daughter's kids to the
Wow.
grandma. And did they not inspect her? Like, I want to say that they had to be lying to CPS about the daughter living in the house with them if they gave her custody of the kids, because then they're in that type of situation. They're still with the unfit mother. Even if the grandmother was there, they're still with her constantly. I don't know how that would work, but the fact that she had filed an eviction paperwork and stuff for them, it doesn't seem like she was trying to hide that they lived there with them. So it sounds
Mm-hmm.
really, maybe the babysitter's completely honest and that she has called CPS and DFACS and they just dropped the ball completely. I still say she should have called the cops when there's a belt bruise on a baby's neck, but maybe she did really, really try to report it, and maybe she doesn't know what else to do from that point. Maybe she thinks CPS is, a higher authority than the cops, so she's calling them, and if she calls the cops, they'll just say call CPS or whatever. But good God. Like,
Yeah, that's the
I'm
thing though.
trying my best to
CPS.
give the babysitter the benefit of the doubt, you know? Like, because she seemed like she cares. I know she's got a long criminal history and rap sheet too, but not when it comes to like children or mistreating children. And she comes across like she cares for sure. I believe that she cares in that way. Like she looks like she cares. Like the grandma, I could see the grandma being just downright hateful and rude to kids. The mother apparently doesn't care about anything. So of course she would be like she fits the stereotype for the woman that would leave her kids in the car in the heat with the car cut off and the windows up, you know?
Well, I don't know if y'all follow Betty or not.
Bullhorn
I'll
Betty?
say one thing. Yeah, I'll say one thing that I heard from Betty on her show tonight. She said, and this really struck me. Um, she said, "Do you know how many missing posters were out for this little boy?" And there
Zero.
were, a bunch of, guesses. She said 20.
20. Dolly
And
said
people
he
were like,
saw
20?
none.
Wow, that's great. And she said, guess where they were. And people are like, well, where were they? Where were they? They were with me. I'm the one that brought them.
Good Lord. Yeah,
There were
exactly.
no other missing. There were no missing flyers, no missing posters, no nothing for that little boy. Not even from the family. That makes me so mad.
Right. The babysitter had said she wanted to make some, but that's when the grandmother went and stormed in her house. Let me read a few of these comments real quick.
My goodness.
Haunting Haley
I'm
said,
going to go ahead and drop down in case somebody else wants to come up. Okay.
all right, go ahead. Thank you for coming up.
All right. Yeah. Thank you. Have a great night. Okay.
You too.
All right.
So yeah, Haunting Haley says, my dad taught me the credit card thing, so now anytime anyone gets locked out, they call me like I'm the family burglar locksmith. Yeah. Yeah, that's I can't remember how I learned it. I learned it as a kid too though. And on outside doors, it works if you have a stiff enough card. It works on outside doors, but inside doors, they've got a good gap. You can just slide it right in there and pop it. And I definitely didn't expect for my little boy to pick it up, but he saw me do it when we got locked out of the room, and he was infatuated with it from that point. Like he wanted to so bad, so I had like a old gift card or something, a prepaid credit card somebody had gave as a gift card, and he got that, and he kept on doing it one day until he finally figured it out, and then after that he had it for life. DB says grandma fights for custody because mom is unfit, then leaves mom in charge of these poor children. Goodness, what dysfunction. I've already read this, haven't I? Haunting Haley, right. In some states, you can be arrested for leaving them in care of parents who have lost custody. She had a legal obligation. Didn't she also admit she had CPS history herself? Yes, she did. She said that she had lost her kids when she was younger and made mistakes, and that she was hoping her daughter would straighten up and change. And that was her excuse for not doing anything about her daughter beating them. Um, I was watching can't talk. Stacy Napier. I was watching Ten to Life, and there was text from the grandmother saying the daughter did it, and she admitted it, told where she put him in the landfill, but somehow doesn't remember killing him. Yeah, sure. Sure, she doesn't remember. Haunting Haley. I'm not sure for kinship, but for fostering, the AGC, fire marshal, everyone inspected our home. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. That's weird. Let's do that. Alright, now we're back. I don't know why it was froze up on there like that. Haunting Haley. Right, which means she has founded CPS complaints. That is 100% negligent on CPS. They will sometimes allow parents to live in, but not be alone with the kids. Yeah, definitely not. Oh, I gotta go out of town and work for 3 weeks. You take care of the kids while I'm gone. There's no way she thought that the daughter was doing better, because if the daughter's taking the kids to the babysitter even on her off days to leave all day long, like, that's not very motherly. I understand every once in a while you go and you might need a babysitter or something, but like, really? Like, all the time? That's ridiculous. What's weird though is that if the boyfriend didn't have anything to do with it and it happened before he left, then he's saying him canceling the babysitter. I don't know. Like, how did the boyfriend get cleared, I guess? If they believe the mother did it, how do they know that the boyfriend is clear? What did the whole polygraph thing test? I always feel like those are rumors unless I see actual polygraph results. And that's just my opinion. That's not like anything. I feel like polygraphs aren't nearly as popular as they are in these big mainstream cases, because like in what case that anybody I've ever known in, nobody's ever been given a polygraph. Or when you think somebody's lying and it's like, give them a polygraph, they never do. So it's like they only give polygraphs once they're getting ready to charge somebody with a crime. It feels like I doubt they gave the polygraph. Maybe they did though in a missing persons case. I've never known anybody that was doing a missing persons case, so I could be completely off base on that. I always just feel like somebody saying, "Oh, I took a polygraph test." To me, that, like when Jagger said he took a polygraph test, why? You were 4 hours away. You weren't there. Why would you have had to take a polygraph test? And then the Megan lady was saying that Sammy and Jagger had both took polygraph tests and grilled for 8 hours on a polygraph. I feel like that was a lie. Haunting Haley. She was evicting the daughter, lol. No way she had a surge of faith in her. Exactly. So why not? Why would you leave with her? Like when the babysitter says, "Hey, these bruises," he's having a lot of bruises, and he's left out unsupervised out in the front yard in the ditch. And in the ditch, to me, because I live out in the country too, which I'm sure Savannah, Georgia's pretty country. If you look at the area, it's pretty. I never can say this word, so don't laugh at me, y'all. But a pretty rural area, that's where they are. So a ditch, if they're out by the ditch, they're right beside the road. You know? It's ridiculous. It's rare they actually need to use them. They will if they really can't read the person and need to shift gears in case they're innocent. Right. I doubt they gave the boyfriend a polygraph, but maybe because it was a missing persons case. Maybe they would if they like think sensitive time is sensitive, if he has information, we at least want to get a hint of it. But even if he failed a polygraph, if he didn't give them the answers they wanted, they couldn't do anything about it because you're not able to be punished or charged by a polygraph. So I feel like if you're not able to be convicted with the polygraph, it's probably not accurate enough to clear you really either. But maybe it is. I don't know the law when it comes to that. I can't sit and pretend I do. I just feel like that's way over exaggerated when people start talking about polygraphs and stuff of if there was actually a polygraph. Oh, well, guys, I just wanted to get on here and talk for a little bit, but oh, hold on one second. A tribute to Quentin. Let me see if I can at least put that in and play it. No, I won't be able to play that from this. I'd have to turn that back on and get it. But I'll check it out. I'll probably upload it uh, or get it ready and do it on the next live I do before I get started. But yeah, I gotta get up. I gotta be at work at 5:30 in the morning. It's already almost midnight, so I'm gonna get off here so I can get ready for bed. I appreciate everybody coming to watch. If you didn't hit the like button, please hit the like button. If you're in here, please hit it. It helps, right? Have a good night, everybody, and thanks for watching.